Birmingham City are one of 5 teams involved in the final day relegation battle. Reddit, Eddie Greville. It's going to be a nervy afternoon for Reading FC on Sunday, but there are 4 other clubs also looking nervously over their shoulders. Burton, Albion and Bolton Wanderers are going down as it stands, as they occupy the other 2 spots in the relegation zone, with Sunderland already demoted. However, like Reading, both Birmingham City and Barnsley hover just above the bottom 3 and could be dragged into the mix. How bookies rate Reading FC survival chances going into final weekend? City spurned an opportunity to move clear of danger when they lost 3-1 at QPR last weekend, while Barnsley boosted their survival chances with a 2-0 success against Brentford. To gauge more of the mood among the Blues and the Tykes ahead of the final round of games, here are the views of 2 football reporters who have followed the sides throughout the season. The Blues host Fulham while Barnsley travel to Derby County. Birmingham City, Brian Dick. Birmingham Live. How is the mood? Nerves are jangling. There's a certain feeling of resignation that Blues always do things the hard way, and a fear they have flirted with last-day disaster once too often. There is also a huge concern about the quality of the opposition. Fulham are arguably the form team in the league. How realistic is it Blues can stop their unbeaten run? But you also have to keep things in perspective. Blues have their destiny in their own hands, and even if they lose, they need a raft of results to go against them. The bookmakers reckon they've only a 14/1 chance of going down. Hopefully they're right. Have things picked up under Gary Monk? Massively. Despite last Saturday, a 3-1 loss at QPR, there is a much more upbeat feel around the club. The bond between players and supporters has been restored, and Monk is proving himself to be very popular. He's played 2 up front in virtually every game and tried to get on the front foot, especially at home. Blues boss Gary Monk. Credit, Eddie Greville. The whole feel around the club is more assertive, and arguably Blues deserve more points than they have taken in his 10 games. How will they approach the Fulham match? Well, it's going to be a sellout. The club have opened areas of the stadium that have been effectively mothballed for 3 years. That kind of demands a positive approach from Blues, and Fulham have looked vulnerable in the early stages of games in recent weeks. The fact they probably have to win to have any chance of automatic might help Blues too. But the presence of players like Sessegnon, Petrovic and Kearney is obviously a huge concern. What do you expect to happen on Sunday? I would never back against a full St Andrews and motivated Birmingham City team. As long as the players aren't fearful and passive. How Reading FC's rivals see the championship relegation battle? I think a point would effectively guarantee safety, because it's difficult to envisage Burton and Barnsley both winning away from home against playoff hopefuls. It wouldn't surprise me at all, though, if Bolton beat Nottingham Forest, and the final few minutes of the season are incredibly nervy. Barnsley, Doug O'Kane. Barnsley Chronicle. Was Barnsley's win over Brentford a surprise to you as much as everyone else? I think there was definitely an element of surprise. The 2 teams coming into the game had a difference in form, and there was massive pressure on Barnsley, knowing they could have gone down. It looked a really tough last 2 games, Brentford and Derby, to get 4-6 points to stay up, but Brentford were really poor on the day and Barnsley could have scored quite a few more goals. It's now taken them out of the relegation zone and completely opened up the race for survival. How are the confidence levels after the win over Brentford? It's been a massive boost for the team. They are really believing now. I would have thought it is probably going to be a similar day to 5 years ago at Huddersfield Town, when Barnsley were in a very similar position with 5 or 6 clubs battling to stay up. There will be lots of checking of phones. Royals drew at Barnsley earlier in the season. Credit, Eddie Greville. It's going to be tense. If they go there and get a win at Derby, that will negate all of that and they will stay up. Saturday was a massive boost. It's given them a second life, which a lot of fans didn't think they would have. What do you expect this weekend? It's really hard. I am 60-40 to saying Barnsley will stay up. I think they might get a draw at Derby, which would possibly suit both teams, and I can't really see Bolton and Burton both overtaking them, but it is possible. Possibly all 3 could draw, and I think Barnsley might just get away with it. It's on a knife edge. Keep an eye out on Get Reading for part 2 of our big weekend preview with the experts from Burton and Bolton. Don't forget to keep an eye out on our social media pages for more Royals news. Our Twitter page is at Get Reading FC, and we are also on Facebook, Reading FC, Get Reading.